Hey guys and gals, welcome in to RacerXOnline.com. I am Kris Keefer, and we are here with another garage build. This one's a special one, folks. A GasGas MC 250 2022 edition, but the kicker is we got a 300 kit in this thing, right? So, as you guys know, I love myself a big bore. Man, oh man, is it fun to ride a big bore. And some of my best results have come from a two-stroke with a big bore in it. Coincidence? No. So we are here at Glen Helen Raceway today. We got Scott McDonough's GasGas MC 300. We're going to spin some laps on him. We're going to get him over here and talk about why he chose this bike and the parts that you see on this thing right now, because there is plenty of goodies on here. If you take a look at the pipe, the silencer, the carbon fiber, there's all kinds of stuff to talk about here. This is a true sense of the word garage build from a guy who just likes to ride dirt bikes. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about this and get you some information on what you can do to your personal GG MC 250. All right, so we're just wrapped up here at Glen Helen. Scott McDonough's GasGas MC 300. That's right, we got 50 extra cc's out of this bad boy. So I rode a little bit today, and I will give you my opinion, but I don't think that really matters. What matters to me is when we do these garage builds, it's about the love of dirt biking, what you want to do. You want to get in the garage, build your own bike. And for me, at least some of the time, and I'm sure Scott will tell you that probably some of the most fun is actually building the motorcycle before you get to ride it. It's like that pre-game, right? So for me, that is some of the most fun. You turn the tunes on in the shop, start building your GasGas and seeing the progress as you go. And then when you go out to get a beer or something in the fridge, you look over and see your GasGas just getting better and better by the day, right? So Scott, first things first, explain to people how you got on a GasGas.
So I've been on a Japanese bike since I was a kid. I had a YZ 450 Blue Crew and was out at State Fair, RIP State Fair. And Keefer was testing the new, for that year, 21 GasGas 450. And I went over and talked to him and I said, wow, you really, on your intro for this thing really made it seem vet friendly and something that it would work well for me. He's like, well, if you want to ride this one, you can. And he let me ride it for a few laps. And after that, I was sold. It just fit better for the speed that I'm going and the age that I am. And so that's why I sold the Blue Crew and got a GasGas 450. And then I had this wild idea. I hadn't had a two-stroke in 20 years. I'm like, oh, it'd be fun to get a two-stroke again. And of course, my OCD, I couldn't have a green or an orange two-stroke and a red four-stroke, so I had waited for the GasGas 250 to come out, and that's kind of how we started on the GasGas 250.
So listen, people, that's right. This is what we do over here at Racer X and Keefer Inc. Testing. We let people ride our bikes and make them spend more money. We're just helping the industry along here. So now you got this MC 250. You said, man, I need to get a big bore. I want a little bit more bottom end, and there's a lot of really cool parts on here, things that I've never seen. There's a Turkish pipe. Didn't know MOTOES, that's the name of the pipe company. It's a cone pipe coming out of Turkey. SCALVINI silencer.
Yep.
And a lot of carbon fiber. So give us a breakdown piece by piece how you built this thing.
All right, so we'll start off with the bike is plenty capable for my speed and skill level to start out with. Most of this stuff is just, sitting, watching Racer X on YouTube and, getting on the computer and clicking away, buying stuff, and then when it comes in. So obviously I wanted a cone pipe. I started with a Scalvini, got a few dents in it, and then went to this MOTOES. I found it in Turkey through an Instagram thing. It was really affordable, and it's stainless steel cone pipe, pretty cool. Still have this Scalvini carbon fiber muffler. My GasGas 450 has Ohlins suspension. Again, for my speed, it's totally unneeded, but it's the eye candy for it. And then my OCD, again, I wanted them to match, so I got it for this bike as well. I did go with the Ride Engineering split clamps that Keefer has talked up well, and Adrian over there at Ride Engineering is really nice to me. So I went with those to give it a little bit better look and maybe sharpen up the steering a little bit from the stock ones. Then just a bunch of little trinkets and stuff from CMT in Italy, some carbon fiber bits. You can see the carbon fiber stator cover, and then some parts that go near the frame guards to keep it from ripping off the graphics and stuff. The service frame guards are really nice to kind of thicken it up in that area, help me grip the bike a little bit better.
What I noticed too, like for me with the Ohlins TTX stuff, I haven't had a lot of time on it. Obviously, this is built for Scott. It's soft for me. But what I do notice, especially with the fork, is when I do come, and I've been to Glen Helen a lot, so I kind of know the bumps. The bumps really don't change here. I've been enough, and they can grade it all they want, but the bumps come back in the same spot. So this fork actually soaks up a lot of the imperfections of Glen Helen. So all the small chatter and the stuff that's underneath the good dirt, I feel a lot of that with other bikes. But with this fork, man, it really follows the ground well. And for me, although soft and a little bit pitchy on decel, it has a lot of comfort. And I've come to grown to like Ohlins stuff over the years for that reason, especially outdoors, because it just picks up a lot of the small imperfections of tracks. The shock actually was stiff enough for me. I kind of like the shock, a little bit on high-speed compression and maybe a little bit soft, but low speed felt really good. So overall, the balance is a little off, but it does soak up a lot of the small stuff. So did you just get this out of the box and put it in, or is it valved for you?
No, it's valve and sprung from me, from Robert at RD Suspension. He's down in Escondido. And that was one of the reasons I went with Ohlins, because of the guy. I met him at Elsinore. We talked. He let me ride his bike. Again, people letting me ride their bikes costing me money.
Just a bunch of nice guys.
Yeah, real nice guys. So he let me ride his bike. I liked the way that it felt. And then the fact that, he's a smaller suspension guy. He does know Owens, which I know is kind of their own little animal. Not all the KYB guys like him, and the WP guys don't like him. And so his familiarity with that, and then his ability to come to the track with me and help me tune it to help me, is one of the reasons I went with Owens as opposed to like a KYB spring conversion or the new WP spring conversion.
So we got Dunlop MX3S. Scott knows what's up. Front tire, 33 rear. What's cool, I haven't rode that much with these ankle saver pegs, but they actually do work. Scott's working on his technique, so if you guys out there, older gentlemen out there that want to help your technique along, unlock those hips, aka Rhino style, and then get back on the balls of your feet, this actually does a pretty good job.
Yeah, it does really well. I was worried. The other thing that these do is it lowers a little bit, so it gives me open. I'm not tall, I'm like 5'11", but it gives me the ability to have my feet a little bit lower, and it makes it easier for an older guy like me to get out of a squat, as opposed to if they were up higher, I'd have to work a little harder. So, and then I was worried about being on the balls of my feet, and being that it's not a technique that I grew up doing. If I hit something wrong, that maybe I'd blow out an Achilles or something, and that's why I went with those. The other thing, that these are the ones that they actually have little pegs on the front. So as I'm sitting down, there's a place for it to grip also on the front. So.
Yeah, they kind of roll over a little bit, so you kind of get more grip. All right, a couple things with the engine. Obviously, the 300 kit, not that much money, surprisingly enough, and the Lectron carb. So give us a rundown on those two things.
Yeah, so the I don't know, it's got to be one of the best deals, I think, best values in motocross, is that 300 kit from KTM. It's less than $1,000. You get the cylinder, the head, piston rings, clips, bearing, the whole deal, all the gaskets you need. The power valves are already installed when you get the cylinder. The rings are already on the piston. So it's really a bolt-on kit. Even comes with the CDI box. You got to change the CDI box. It comes with that. So it's really, really good value. The Lectron carb, it just makes it easier. It makes it easier to jet. It's just a metering rod as opposed to a pilot and a main. So it's super simple. I got the little tuning kit where you can take the slide off without using any tools. You just unscrew it off and take it off, and then turn it a quarter of a turn or eighth of a turn, and fix the jetting, which we do need to do. Kris was nice enough to tell me there's some deficiency.
Yeah, so when I got on the bike, it just felt a little lean, so it detonated a little bit under load coming up on some of these hills where it was really muddy and deep. So I asked Scott about that, and he's like, oh yeah, super easy to change, so we'll make those changes today, and you can live live your life easier instead of with a carburetor, which is kind of a nightmare to tilt the carb, get the jets out. You could dump a jet out in the dirt. It's just kind of a novice, mechanic nightmare. So, again, not a lot of time for me on this system, but overall, crisp and clean down low, maybe a little bit lean in the middle, but nice on top. So it's nice to know that it's easy to work on, and you can change, air quotes, your jetting here at the track, fairly simple.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, super easy to change. And the guys are over there at Lectron are really nice. They came down and supported the two-stroke nationals, so they had a full crew here helping out anybody that had Lectron carbs, which is really nice. It is expensive. I think it's about $500-600 for that carb, but I felt like it definitely woke it up. And made it faster. Not necessarily me faster, but it made the bike faster than the stock carb, and I like it. So.
Yeah, so the 300 kit for me, I've had some time on the MC250. Overall, you're getting more bottom end, more mid-range, maybe slightly less top end over rev than the 250, but what I like about this bike here is I can short shift it, I can lug it, it has good rear wheel feel, so the connection from my throttle hand to the rear wheel is actually really nice. Here at Glen Helen today, we have pockets of mud. I'm sure Spencer got me going through some pockets that are just really deep mud, and then it turns hard pack within 15 feet. So it's really inconsistent here. So this made, for me, the 300 kit and this Lectron carb made it a little bit more consistent. I could lug it a little bit more. Getting older, you guys out there, if you guys are getting older, you want to have a little bit more recovery. The 300 kit is a nice touch. It doesn't really add more explosive power, just gives you more meat and more pull. So if you may want to change your gearing, which we have stock gearing on this bike right now, you can change your gearing a little bit. You can ride third gear and lug it. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of third gear in almost every bike because that is the do-it-all kind of gear. If you can actually get that gear and ride around the track, basically you can work smarter, not harder, and your heart rate stays down, Scott.
Absolutely, that's the whole plan, and that's what it did really when I changed from the 250 to the 300 kit. It made it closer to my 450 and easier to ride as a, like you said, lug it around, and I'm not revving the crap out of it. What Spencer saw is me trying to struggle through some of the corners that you were doing really well at, and so it just makes it easier for me to ride at the speed I ride at. Having the more power. Just makes it easier. You don't have to rev it as much. You don't have to be as aggressive with it, and so it made it a lot easier. The same with the fat head billet cylinder head. One is red anodized, so as a vet, I think I'm obligated. Anything red anodized, I have to.
It must be the moto memes guy. He talks a lot of trash on guys with billet and KTMs and everything.
I'm team moto memes for sure.
So overall, this bike is beautiful, man. Thrill Seeker seat cover. You got arc levers, little bits, gas trinkets on here. For me, I haven't had much time on ODI bars, but I like this bend. So what bend is this? Evan, look.
This is the RC4 bend.
Yeah, for me, I'm 6 foot tall. This has a nice amount of sweep, not too tall. So overall, sitting on the bike is nice. I had fun riding it. Oh, real quick, carbon fiber engine mounts. Talk about that.
Yeah, so that's from that company in Italy, CMT. They're really, just their whole, the way like it even comes in the box is really slick. I did feel like it gave it a little bit more compliance, but I'll be honest, the reason I got it is because it's carbon fiber and it looks cool.
I like the honesty, Scott. So for me, like we talked about, within these garage builds, we don't do a lot of average guys, motorcycles. We usually try to build our own here. But for me, this is what garage builds is all about. You get a bike, you tailor make it to yourself, and some of that enjoyment as dirt bike guys is building up your bike. For me, as I get older, I kind of like spending more time in the garage. I didn't want to do that when I was younger. I just wanted to ride the things, but it's nice to get a bike, put the parts that you want on it, and man, this thing is beautiful. What's cool too with this cone pipe, MOTOES, MOTOES, from Turkey, $300.
Yeah, $300 shipped from Turkey in a bag, like quicker than I've gotten some stuff from in the United States. I thought for $300, like if it all goes wrong, whatever, I'll do a PayPal dispute or whatever. But it came like just as they described, tracking number right away. It went really, really well. And it's what kind of a cool thing about it is it's stainless steel, so I don't.
The stronger.
Yeah. Well, no, I was also thinking that I wouldn't have to worry about the rust like I do on my SCALVINI pipe. I got to get it home and I got to put WD-40 on that thing right away so that it doesn't rust. But with the stainless steel one, it's definitely going to stay nicer longer.
Well, I want to thank Scott for letting me ride his bike. I might have to wash it for him. I did get a little bit muddy today, but it's been overall a great experience for me. If you guys have a garage build that you're thinking about, email me, Kris at keeferinctesting.com. We'll try to do it and see what we can do. I get a lot of submissions, but once in a while I get a hair at my butt, and we'll get these things out here and shoot a video. So it's pretty fun for me to ride your guys' bikes, and it's an honor to ride something that you guys put so much heart and soul in. So very fun build for me today, and Scott, thank you. Thank you to GasGas for making a beautiful red machine that isn't a Honda. I think some of that is appealing for you guys out there. If it's red, you're in. Doesn't matter if it's a Honda or GasGas. So stay tuned to racerxonline.com for more builds, more tests, and obviously the 2023 bikes are here. We're testing them, and it's going to be a fun year. We can't wait. A lot of new things coming down the pipe, and we'll be talking to you guys right here on racerxonline.com. Don't forget, 12 issues, 30 bucks. Get a Twisted Tea 12-pack little thing that goes over your chest. You can walk around the river, the beach, the pool, grab some Twisted Teas, and just hang out with your family or friends and barbecue. It's awesome. Always free stuff over here at RacerX. We love giving away stuff. We love just letting people ride our machines. It's crazy over here. See you on the next garage build.